Good morning and welcome to the gun range here in Arkansas, the state that right now has heat and humidity so bad that people come here to be convinced they don't want to go to hell. I'm out here today to run through a couple of drills with two small revolvers, which is what this video is about. If you are somebody who's new to shooting, if you're considering getting a gun for self-defense, or if you've purchased a small revolver, haven't had a whole lot of experience, this will help you insofar as showing you how to get out and work with those revolvers and how to be realistic about how you're going to use one. Because most people are not going to come out. People fantasize all the time about going and getting a small revolver and using it in self-defense. When we talk to them about the long, heavy trigger pull on a revolver, they go, oh no, I'll cock it first. That's a fantasy. Believing that you will, under great stress, under deadly stress, are going to draw a revolver and thumb cock it before you shoot it in self-defense is a fantasy indeed. Today I'm going to talk to you about shooting your revolvers, working with them for self-defense, working with them in double action. Not thumb cocking, but double action. Getting used to it is key, because if you're going to carry one, you should understand that the reality is double action is what's in your future. It's interesting, the revolvers I'm going to be using are both Taurus revolvers. I've owned Smith & Wesson, I've owned Ruger, I've owned a bunch of different revolvers in those name brands. I've also owned several Tauruses. Today what I have is two Taurus handguns. Interestingly enough, this is a Taurus, I think it's model 85 is the number on it. That's about a 35-year-old revolver. Now it's still a modern revolver, it has modern mechanism in it. That right there is a gun, even though it's a Taurus, that has the easiest double action trigger pull of any gun, any revolver I've ever owned. Now, that's not to start an argument with anybody. It's this gun in my hand right here. This is the easiest double action trigger pull of any I've ever had. I'm gonna be using this one with 38 Special. The other one is gonna be one that I've done a couple reviews on out here. That's the Taurus Poly Protector. That's a 357 Magnum, a polymer frame 357 Magnum. This gun has the longest, heaviest, most difficult double action trigger pull of any I've ever owned. But that's where you get the benefit today of seeing me use both of them, how I'd use them in self-defense, running through these targets, and just exactly how I use them in double action mode. That will help you in setting up your own training and your own practice and how to use your revolver in double action mode. Gun reminds you of your earplugs. You see what I got there was, I think, 4 shots center mass, 2 of them pretty close together, and 1 headshot. But that's from a pretty close distance there. I got right up about 3 feet from it and then moved back to about 6 feet, but all of it close together. But that is very likely what you'd be using one of these for in an intense, immediate self-defense scenario. Let's try the 357. There's a whole lot more to hold there with the 357 than there is with the 38 Special, but it's the same thing. This time I'll be concentrating on 2 targets. The black silhouette and the silhouette with the yellow paper and plate on it over here. I'll be shooting at both those targets this time. Whole different scenario. You got to stay slowed down with these. It's the difference again in a revolver and a semi-automatic pistol. If I was out here with a 5-inch barrel match 9mm semi-automatic, I'd be blasting away. With this revolver, I have to bear down on it. I have to think, I have to pull through that trigger pull, and I have to deal with the particulars of the revolver. So this is why it's critical to practice. But be shooting this one right up here close, and then considering that back there, that steel target, an assailant that is further away. Now, just because I missed that steel target down there twice a minute ago, I'm gonna shoot all 5 shots out of my 357 at the same distance over here. This is supposed to represent real training and real practice for you. So you can see, you may have to make up for some shots. If you see you're missing from somewhere, or you're having a little problem with a particular gun or a particular round and a certain size target, you need to make up for that. Stop and work on that. That's what this is about. So here goes on the steel target now, 357 Magnum only. So there you have it. You saw me run through that. You saw me miss a few times. You saw me have to make up a few things. Please don't think that if you're considering a small revolver to carry with you for your primary self-defense weapon, that you don't need to get out and do extensive training with it and practice over and over and over again and keep practicing, because your skills diminish. All I can tell you is there's no comparison really between using these and using a semi-automatic pistol. It's a whole different world between the two. When you get out here and start running drills, when you use these, you're going to be bearing down harder, you're going to be gripping harder, you're going to be having to concentrate more, you're going to be having to control more in that revolver. It can be done, but every one of these shots was made in double action. Not one single thumb cock was done out here. I like to shoot them that way too, but if you're going to train for self-defense with a small revolver, if that's the gun you're determined to carry, if that's what you're shopping for right now and that's what you're looking for, that's all good. But practicing like this right here is critical in being able to use these things effectively should the unthinkable ever happen and you have to use that in defense of your life or somebody else's. I'm Mark Rogers. I'll see you again in the next 6-minute training video.